Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to update my Pan Those Eyeshadows. This is one of my favorite projects on my channel. I love it for several reasons. It's been around for a long time. It's been one of the projects that I've done for the longest on my channel and I absolutely love it. Also, of course, it is including eyeshadows, which is my favorite part of my collection makeup wise. I absolutely love eyeshadows, so getting to play with them and hitting pan on them is just the ultimate like fantasy for a product planner like me. So I am gonna update you. I'm working on 4 shadows in this project this year, just so I can work on other eyeshadow projects as well. I wanted to not have too many eyeshadows in this project, and 4 is like the perfect type of medium for me. And my goal is to either hit pan on them, of course, or if I have gotten to 20 uses and I haven't hit pan yet, I am allowing myself to roll the eyeshadow out if I want to, just so I can keep this project moving. So I'm gonna jump into the first eyeshadow, but before I do that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So I'm working, like I said, on 4 shadows, and I always start with the eyeshadow that has been in the project the longest, and that first one is from my Oden's Eye Elva palette. So for my 4 eyeshadows that I work on in this project, I do work off of Makeup by Laney's prompt list. I don't think she's posting anymore. And by the way, Alexi created Pan Those Eyeshadows, which I think most of you guys know, but I wanted to mention it anyway. But I'm also working off Makeup by Laney's prompt list, and the first eyeshadow right here comes from the prompt and outer corner shadow. So I've been working on the shade Peony for 3 months now. So you're looking at what it looked like when I first introduced it. I obviously had used this shadow, but not too much, and this is definitely a palette that I want to reach for more in my collection. There is some wear and tear on it, but this shadow didn't have too much use. I used it 6 times in the first month, and you're looking at what it looked like after those 6 uses here. So I tried to incorporate as much as I could, but I definitely slacked a little bit the second month. I could have probably had way more uses on it than I did, but I was just working on other things and kind of forgot about this one, to be honest. So I reached for it only 3 times the second month, and this is what it looked like last month after those 9 uses in total. So there was a little bit of a dip, but I still had a decent way to go. So I was determined this past month to try to get it out. I tried to rotate through my shadows every 3 months if possible, and this is what the shadow looks like now. So as you can see, I was able to pan on the shadow, which is super exciting. I wasn't sure at the last update if I was going to get to pan or if I was going to do the 20 uses, but I'm happy that I managed to hit pan. So this is the palette now. You can see the pan right down here. It is the second pan in this palette for me, and it's a super stunning shade. I really do love this eyeshadow. I will go ahead and swatch it in a second. So it took me almost a fully 20 uses to hit pan on it. It took me 19 uses, so I was really not sure if I was going to hit pan on it or roll it out after 20 uses. I think if I hit the 20 uses, I probably would have continued working on it until this update to see if I hit pan, because I knew I was very close. But I was able to hit pan on it, so it will be rolling out to this project. So that is the swatch of it right there. So it is like a mid-tone. I mean, it's probably deeper than a mid-tone, but it's not like a super deep brown, but this is the kind of brown that I love reaching for it now in my outer corner, which is why I rolled this one in for that prompt. But yeah, it's like a reddish with a slight plum undertone brown, and it was super easy to incorporate, especially with the transition shades in my pan palette. So yeah, really happy that I worked on this one, and again happy that I was able to get another pan in my collection. The second shadow that I have to talk about today is actually a single, and I rolled this one in for an everyday shadow, and I went with this shadow right here called Little Star from the Pastel Roses. It is a beautiful sparkly in a corner or topper type of shadow. It is like a yellow with a slight green hint to it that goes into a blue at an angle. It's not the most shifty type of shadow from the Pastel Roses or like my multichromes, but it still does have those different colors throughout it. It's almost like more of a duochrome rather than a multichrome, but it's absolutely stunning nonetheless. So this is what it looked like last month, and I had reached for it 7 times at this point. So you can see that there's a little bit of a dip, but it hasn't moved super fast, because it is first of all very impactful. It might not be as shifty as other shades, but it's definitely super sparkly. So I don't need much when I reach for it, and I also reach for it on my main corner a lot. This is what this one looks like today. I've reached for it 14 additional times, so I actually have surpassed my 20 use goal. I'm reaching for it the 14th time today, so I had already reached for it 20 times before today, but in the look today I am wearing it for 14th time, totaling 21 uses in the project. So yeah, you can see right there, that is the shadow. So there is definitely a dip, but I'm again nowhere near pan, so I have decided to roll this one out now. If I was closer to pan, I might continue working on it because it is again a very useful shadow and it's been easy to incorporate. Like I said, wearing this one today, it is what I have on my inner corner. I have a matte yellow underneath it, but I have topped my look with this shadow. So again, that is just a bonus use. I didn't have to use it the 14th time today because I already had hit my usage goal, but why not? It's always good reaching for shadows, and this is just such a beautiful one, so I wanted to incorporate it. But again, this one is also rolling out, but this one is again rolling out due to usage, not the pan. And that is the swatch right there. So it is like an iridescent shade. It doesn't really have a base to it, as you can see, but it does have that really vibrant gold with a, again, green hint to it. I don't know if you can see the green on camera, but I can definitely see it in real life. It was actually surprising to me that it had that green into it because I can't really see it when I first, when you're looking at the shadow, it looks more like that on the eyes, and especially compared to other yellow iridescents that I have. But yeah, that's really you can see again how bright that is, and then it does have that kind of cool toned bluish to slight like pinky purple kind of shift at that harsh angle. But yeah, that is the second shadow, and it's also rolling out. The last two shadows that I have, I rolled in last month, so they only been, well, not last month actually, it's actually been almost 2 months since my last update, but they rolled in at the last update, and I kind of missed last month's update for most of my projects. Again, if you know, you know, but I had a baby, so I didn't wear much makeup, and I had pre-filmed all of my posts for July for the most part, so actually no, all of July apart from like the last 1 or 2 videos of July, I had all pre-filmed, so that's why I didn't have any pan updates last month, and that's kind of what I'm touching up now. But since I didn't wear much makeup either, it kind of feels like a month even though it has been longer. But anyway, I rolled in last 2 eyeshadows at the last update, and I'm going to start off with the first shadow that comes from here, and I rolled this one in for Something You Want to Pan, and I surprisingly went with the shade Cosmic Love, which is this one right here. It's not a shadow that I kind of reach for a lot on my own. It's a very deep type of shadow. It's also like a purple, and purple is not my favorite type of shade to reach for, but I wanted to get some use out of this palette, and I wanted to challenge myself a little bit and not go for like, you know, the most obvious shade in here, which probably would be Moon Magic or even Self Love. I wanted to go for something different, so I went for the same Cosmic Love, and I reached for it 5 times, and this is what the shadow looks like now. So as you can see, surprisingly, I was able to pan on it after use 5 uses. I think the reason for that is because since it is such deep shade, I reach for it a lot in my outer corner or as an accent type of shimmer, which means that I use a smaller brush, and also this is a very flaky formula, which meant that it went faster, I think. So that is the shade Cosmic Love. So again, that is the shade right there, and you can see it does have that kind of bluish purple shift straight on, but then at an angle it goes into more of a pink, but it does also have a very deep base. As you can see, it's like a blackish type of shade, which is why again I was surprised that I went for this shade, but somehow I felt like this at the last update. And like I said, I was lucky in the sense so that it didn't take very long to pan on it. It's also not a very summery shade. Again, not sure what I was thinking when I rolled it in, but I managed to work on it and hit that pan. So again, it only took 5 uses in this project, but I did have some prior use on it too, so it of course took longer, but it is a very emollient formula, which definitely helped me out in this situation. And I'm starting to get quite a few pans in here now. I have 4 and quite a few dips too. This is one of my favorite palettes in my collection, especially for cool tone shadows, so I'm happy that it's looking more and more well loved. So yeah, very exciting, but we do have a 3rd shade rolling out, so all 3 of these shadows will be rolling out today, which again, very happy with, especially considering my lack of makeup wear recently. So again, so let's move on to the very final shadow, and that shadow comes from this palette right here. This is the Red Dragon palette, which was in collaboration with Judy from Odin's Eye. This has been discontinued now, but it was a collaboration palette, and I rolled in the prompt a red matte. So if you know this palette, you know that I'm working on the shade Dragon, which is this really bright fiery red copper shade. It's one of the most true reds that I have in my collection, at least when you're looking at like more warm tone reds. Someone said in my last update, or when I introduced this one, that this definitely is an orange, not a red, but I must disagree if I'm being honest. Maybe it's just my lighting, but even though it is like an orange undertone red, it is 100% a red shadow, and whenever I do roll this kind of color prompts, I do try to stick with the most like true to color type of shades rather than like, you know, a reddish brown or something like that, because I do want to challenge myself with these prompts. But I have reached for this one 5 times in the first month, and this is what it looks like today. So there is a dip going in the shadow, but I am not near pan yet, I don't think, and I obviously also have quite a few uses left on this shadow. It's been a tricky shade to incorporate for sure, but I'm lucky that I'm working on this one in summer because I can make like sunset-y type of looks. But again, I haven't done that as much as I thought I would. So that is the shadow right there, and again, I do have that little bit of a dip in this shade. Again, I have reached for this one a bit before. I know that I did, I think it was one time I did like a liner look, so I scraped some of this out, which may help create a dip, and then I just can continue focusing at like the top of the pan, which is like right there, and again, that is kind of helping me with the dip. So only 5 uses on this one, which isn't great. It is, again, this shadow here is a super vibrant type of red shade. Again, yes, it does have an orange undertone, but it definitely is a true red in my opinion. So yeah, I do think it fits the prompt. With this shadow, again, it's been hard for me to incorporate on my eyes. I'm just not feeling super warm toned looks, which, you know, I could again make sunset looks. I'm panning and I'm trying to use like some yellow shades, so this one would work perfectly for that, for sunset type of looks. But I've been doing more kind of like this more kind of ethereal type of looks, and this doesn't really go with that aesthetic, I guess. So what I actually have done for 2 out of the 5 uses, so almost half of them, is use this one as a blush. And I'm wearing this one today that way too. I was gonna say I'm wearing this one today, but I'm, you know, kind of see if you could figure it out before I told you, because obviously it's not on my eyes. But I'm wearing this one as my blush today. It is, apart from a cream blush I'm wearing as underpainting, it is the only blush that I have on right now. So I have used it like that, and I think that that's going to be one of the ways I'm going to help get my 20 uses. I will, of course, use it on my eyes too. I will try to reach for it at least half of the 20 uses on my eyes. So that would be 10 uses, just because I feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out sometimes to use eyeshadows on cheeks, at least for me, because one of the reasons why I love this project is because I love how it forces you to be creative, and if I just use it on my cheeks, like I won't actually use it on my eyes and help be creative to incorporate with other eyeshadows that I'm panning. So I will keep doing looks with this one, so you will hopefully see some more red pop up on my eyes in different videos. But I will also incorporate it as a blush too, and also doing only like 10 looks with this as my blush would definitely help my regular product pan too, because I'm trying to finish a blush this year. So using, you know, this one 20 times on my cheeks would take away almost a whole month of, well, probably a month, because I don't wear makeup again every day, a whole month of like blush wear from that other blush. So I will combine it that way, but I'm happy that I found an alternative way to use this one, and I can tone it down like I have today to be a good kind of flush for my cheeks. So that is the shadow right here, and this one is staying in the project. So we're going from this color story right here, and now we only have the one shade staying in. So this is the dragon shade, and we're gonna go ahead and roll 3 new prompts that I'm gonna work on for this project for the other 3 shadows. So I pull up my wheel right here. I do have all of the previous prompts from this year, and I believe last year, already deselected from here. And we're gonna go ahead and roll. So the first prompt we're gonna get is gonna be reminds you of spring. Okay, we're not in spring, we are in summer, but that is the first prompt. The second prompt is orange shadow shimmer. Okay, I guess that will go well with that red shade, so that's going to be interesting. And then the last and final prompt is going to be red shadow shimmer. Okay, I guess we are working on more reds. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what I want to roll in for all of these prompts, and then I will be right back. So I'm back, and I have picked up my shadows, and the panning gods really did say we want you to actually wear that red on your eyes, because this here is my new color story. So definitely very red tone, very orangey red, fiery toned. But let's go through the shades. So I did actually take away the old swatches and just put the new ones here, just because I had to go and comfort my baby, so I had to wash off my eyeshadows on my hands just to not get it on her, but she's still asleep. I managed to get her back to sleep, so I will wrap up the video hopefully before she fully wakes up. But I will have later I will have the comparison, like I will put up the old swatch color story right here and then talk to you about the new one. But this is again a new one. On top here we have Dragon, again from the Odin's Eye palette, and then second here is the first shadow, and this is the shadow that I pulled in for Reminds You of Spring. And for that I decided to go with another single shadow, and it's actually another single shadow from the Pastel Roses. This shadow is one that I definitely think of spring for, mainly because of, well, the two main shifts are in this shadow, and that is this shadow right here. This is the shade Very Peri, so it is like a purpley periwinkle type of base, and that is definitely a type of color that I 100% associate with spring. So that is like the base color, and then it has like that kind of yellowy shift straight on, going into a green, and then, you know, a more cool toned at a very harsh angle. The shift itself is quite similar to Little Star, but does have that really vibrant kind of periwinkle base. So I decided to roll this one in. It was something that I had in my most recent BYOP anyway, and I thought, why not play around with it? So that is the first shadow I'm rolling in, and again I foresee this one being a 20 user, or maybe Pan, we'll see. This is more of a all over the lid shade compared to Little Star, which is more of an in corner shade for me, so maybe I will be able to pan on it within those 20 uses, but we're just gonna have to see. Then the second shadow that I rolled in was for the Prompt Orange Shimmer, and I went for this shade right here. It's definitely a very orangey shimmer, and as you can see now, yes, this one is a little bit orangey. I think the sheerer it is, the more orangey it looks, but it definitely is a red. But this here is the orange shimmer. It does have like a bit more of a reddish orangey base, and then that vibrant orange shimmer running through it. And that shadow comes from this palette, and this is one of my newest palettes. I got this one sent to me from Kiora. She has sent me a couple palettes now, and I'm so grateful. And this is a palette that I haven't played around with much since she sent it to me, but I've been desperate to do so. So as soon as I got the orange shimmer prompt, I thought of this palette because there is a shimmer in here that is very kind of fiery orange, which I remembered, and that is this shadow right here. It is called Invention. So this is what this one looks like. It is again that orangey type of shimmer, and it does have a little bit of use, much thanks to Kiora again, but I'm excited to reach for this one. It is a bit more of the flakier type of formula from Natasha Denona, so maybe I will be able to pan on within those 20 uses, but overall I'm just excited to have this palette out and to play around with it a bit, because again, it's been neglected since I received it, so I'm very excited to play with it. So that is going to be the second shadow rolling in. And then for a red shimmer shadow, I went for this shadow right here, which is a very fiery shadow. So straight on, it does have a bit more of a pinky red shimmer, but when I look at it, it definitely is more orangey type of leaning, going into a gold, into even a green at a harsh angle. I'll see if I can actually show you some of the shifts. And by the way, this comes from this palette right here, which is the Cleona Deep Sea Treasures palette. But I think if I hold up the mirror right there, I don't know, can you pick it up? It's always so awkward showing shifts on camera, but I don't know, where is it? Maybe right there you can see like that orangey shift. I'm not sure. Oh my god, this is so hard. I think at the bottom there you can pick up that shift, so you can see it goes into more of an orangey red, but it definitely is red. It's a pinkier red going into an orangey red, and I think that's going to be perfect. It's one of the most, again, true kind of red shimmers that I have, that I thought initially was actually something that's in my current product level up palette, which is the Bronze Seduction palette, that has a true red shimmer as well, but of course I'm already working on that palette. So I remember that I have this palette, and I haven't played around with this one either too much. I have used these shades, but since it's an all shimmer palette, I don't go into it too often. So yeah, this shadow is going to be absolutely perfect, and I love Cleona's formula. This is definitely more of a flaky type of shadow from them, but I do love those a lot, so I'm excited to reach for that shadow. And again, it's definitely going to go well with that matte, and yeah, I'm definitely going to go ahead and probably do more orangey, fiery, sunsetty type of looks now, considering the color story that I have. So again, that is the new color story. Up here we'll have the old color story. I'm not sure if I like this one more. I think it's a bit too monochrome for me. Obviously we have that shade, but removing that shade is very, very monochrome. But I do love these shadows. I am excited to wear them. I think having two indie shadows rolling in is going to be perfect because I do love reaching for my indie shadows, and I'm trying to this year allow myself to reach for shadows that I want to reach for more and enjoy my beautiful indie shimmers and mattes as well, of course, but mainly shimmers. So I'm excited to have some more to play with, and then also playing with a new palette, which I have definitely neglected since I got it. So having that also is going to help me reach for the rest of the shades in that palette too. But I am gonna wrap up the video here. Next update, I don't know if I'm gonna have anything rolling out really. Maybe if I reach for this one as a blush and on my eyes, I might be able to do 15 more uses on it, but we'll see if that's like possible or not. And then for the new shadows, I doubt that any of those will be rolling out, but again, we'll see. It really depends on how much I wear makeup and what type of looks that I do. So I hope you guys enjoy this update, and let me know what you think of my new color story compared to the old one, and which color story did you prefer. I am so excited to have a bit of a refresh in this project. Of course I do have one shadow staying in, but the color story is completely different, so it's going to be a bit of a refresh. And again, we're just going to see how long it takes for any of these to roll out. But I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!